Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Law Schoolers Podcast. This is going to be a really short episode. We are still talking about secure transactions and we are still focusing on perfection, but there's one important aspect of really secure transactions in general and a whole lot of other law, but we are going to be focusing on choice of law issues. And what do I mean by choice of law issues? Well, this is something I've already spent a whole course on this, but I haven't talked about it in the podcast very much, so I'm going to have to give a brief overview now. Essentially, for the most part, states are free to choose what law they are going to follow. That is no different when it comes to the UCC. The UCC is the Uniform Commercial Code. It is not law. It is proposed law that the states can choose to adopt in part or in their entirety. A lot of states have chosen to adopt the UCC. A lot of states have chosen to adopt the UCC partially. Some states have chosen not to adopt very many parts of the UCC. And so that is also true for Article 9, which is where secure transactions is governed within the UCC. So that's the thing where it comes to choice of law issues with Article 9. Now, a couple things to note when it comes to choice of law issues. If each state has a different law, that means that different states are going to govern those issues differently. Now, when it comes to Article 9, most, if not all, states have adopted sections 9, 301 through 307. So that makes it easy when it comes to things like perfection for those sections. For example, in 9301, the location of the debtor is going to govern the perfection step. That's going to be the same in every single jurisdiction. Thank goodness we don't need to worry about the location being an issue. 9307 is going to define the location of the debtor. Again, the definition of location is not going to be an issue. 9307 defines the location of a debtor as an individual at their place of residence. A business is going to be their principal place of business, state of incorporation, or their headquarters. There are going to be exceptions for this rule based off of collateral, but these exceptions are found in 9303, which is certificate of title, 9304, deposit accounts, 9305, which focuses on investment property, and 9306, which focuses on letter of credit rights. All that to say, those things have been adopted within Article 9 in each and every state within the United States. There are exceptions that may apply to this principle, though. For example, focusing on the collateral location rather than the debtor's location. That might be different. That's going to apply when a secure party takes possession of the collateral, if the collateral is a fixture, or when the collateral is timber. But essentially, the gist of this is to say UCC is proposed legislation that states are free to choose to adopt. Most states have chosen to adopt the UCC, and every state has chosen to adopt the UCC, Article 9, Sections 9301 through 307 in its entirety, which simplifies those questions regarding that collateral for those secure transactions. So, like I said, short episode. That's all I had for this one. Hope you guys have a good one. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Law Schoolers Podcast. If you enjoyed the show or the material shared on the Law Schoolers website, you can support Law Schoolers by becoming a patron at patreon.com/lawschoolers. I also wanted to provide a quick disclaimer. Nearly all Law Schoolers material is unedited due to the sake of time and a desire to keep the content as raw as possible. Additionally, the material is only provided for educational purposes and is not to be used as legal advice. If the material is used as legal advice, Law Schoolers is not liable for any legal outcomes. Thank you again for enjoying the show.